Hi, my name's Matt Jones. I have a new record called Half Poison, Half Pure coming out on March 1st. It'll be available on www.mattjones.bandcamp.com, and it's free. And you'll also get a live record and a live film from the live record. So, check it out.
So I'm here with Matt Jones in the iSPY office, and he's going to answer a few questions. So you've been working on this new album, Half Poison, Half Pure. So that's due. You're releasing that in March.
March 1st, yeah.
March 1st. Do you have any type of release show planned for that?
I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think I'm gonna go without a release show, actually, just because I've been getting every CD release I've had. It feels a little guilty to do it, just to get your friends in there and make as much money off them as possible.
Right.
So I don't think I can do it again. I think I'm gonna go with that one. If I do decide to have one, it'll probably be free.
Okay.
But yeah, that's gonna have to wait a little while.
Cool. What are your touring plans for the year?
For now, I've really just been concentrating on writing and touring plans. There's some things coming up in May as part of the Chris Bathgate's tour, just opening for him in Europe. But aside from that, I've just been trying to get my head together to just keep writing songs and get back in the studio and make another record, because I waited too long for this one. I can't do that again.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
So your band is Matt Jones and the Reconstruction.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain the second part of that name?
Well, for a long, long time, I just played solo, and then I played with Colette, who's going to play tonight. And another violinist, and it was just a trio. And we played pretty much just acoustic sounding music, and then somehow things got blown up into a full electric band. And I don't really know if that was, I always wonder if I really should have done it, but I did spend a lot of time doing it. And also, so we kind of reconstructed the music a little bit in itself. And then also, I'm just kind of a really huge Civil War fanatic, actually.
I've heard.
Yeah. And
one of my questions on here.
Oh, totally. Yeah, bring that one on. But so the Reconstruction, that fits in there too. And I just wanted something short. But yeah, we'll see where the Reconstruction goes. I think it's being reconstructed yet again, so we'll see what happens.
Can you tell me about the new album, kind of the approach you took to writing it, how it might be a little different from the Black Path?
It's a lot different from the Black Path. I think the biggest thing that's different is that I actually let a lot of other people put their hand in it. And the Black Path was just mainly myself and Colette and maybe one or two other musicians, and I did most of the arranging, most of the tracking. But with this one, I had a band, and they had their opinions in. They tracked it themselves, drums and bass and guitars. So I didn't have as much say, and it came out really good. But it came out as something I'm just completely not used to. I like it, but it took me a long time to get used to it. That's why it took so long to put it out. I thought you had to love your own album before you put it out, and I don't think that's true anymore. I think that one thing that's really cool about it is that I'm going to put it out, and I know I'm going to continue to like it more and more. So with the Black Path, sometimes it seems like when I put that out, it just died right there, and I left it behind. But with this one, I think I'm just going to continue to like it more and more. So it'll just keep, it's got a longer life, I think. But there's more electric instruments. There's the songs are a little bit more conventional, a little bit more traditionally structured. So it's definitely going to sound better. I mean, I don't know about better. I hope Jim Roll doesn't watch this interview. Because we did the Black Path with him. And then we did this one in a place called Soma Studios in Chicago. And, you know, part of me misses the sort of spooky vibe that Jim gave the Black Path. Mm-hmm. But this studio had a sound all its own as well, so I think it was a good trade.
Is there like a specific kind of thematic direction with the album, like any sort of concept?
The songs were all written in the same time period, around the same sort of events. I was feeling the same sort of way for all of them. They glue together really well, and one reason the album is so short is just because they all came out of the same spot that I was in, and also I couldn't add anything to them, and I couldn't subtract anything. I mean, one song's on there just in a different form 2 separate times, and I spent a lot of time thinking, like, which one do I put on? But I had to leave them both on. I mean, they both mattered, and were done the way they were done for a reason, and I couldn't subtract anything. But conceptually, I don't really think there's any sort of overall like concept to the record. But the songs that are there definitely are all like a little family. Like they belong together, and there's nowhere else they could go. There's nothing else that could be added. So you can sort that out on your own. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Looking forward to it. Can you tell me just like a bit of your story, like what facilitated your interest in music, what drove you to pursue it, things that influenced you?
I was born into it, really. My mother's side of the family, all musicians. Going back into circus performers, like musicians in the circus. Everybody up till my mother's generation, and I've actually been asked to do that as well, but I don't know, I don't really understand MIDI instruments, so I can't play in the circus, and that's what it's all run by now. So I would love to, but maybe 100 years ago. But anyway, I was definitely born into it. My family plays, my sister plays. There's really nothing else. There was nothing else to do, except play music when I was a kid. That's where everything pointed back to, and so I didn't really feel like fighting that. Mm-hmm. It's been good.
Did you grow up like around this area?
I grew up in Adrian, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not that cool.
I mean, I'm familiar with it, so I was like, cool
really?
myself for knowing where it is.
Have you been there?
I haven't actually been there, no.
Okay. Alright.
So coming back to the Civil War, I've read about your interest in it. What attracts you to the Civil War?
Man, that's a tough question too. I think I was actually kind of born into that as well. I mean, my dad was as obsessed as me, and I'm not really sure where that came from, but he would always try to push stuff on me and read stuff to me. And it wasn't until I got extremely sick one weekend that I couldn't leave my bed, that I picked up one of the books he gave me and started reading, and I just could not stop. I mean, I've always been into history. I've always been really attracted to things that are older and have a little historical character behind them. Mm-hmm. It's just, if I can escape in any possible way that doesn't involve drugs or alcohol, I'll do it. And history's just been that.
Yeah.
So, in the Civil War especially, I mean, it's in your backyard. It's everywhere. You can go there. It's completely hands-on still. So, you can't really escape it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. My dad actually had a few books on the Civil War, so I picked those up. And I think one was about, like, diseases that weren't present in America until the Civil War.
Yeah.
It was all about diseases in the Civil War, and I just read that a few times. It was just fascinating.
And now you're a reenactor.
Yeah. Right. So aside from music, kind of like, what kind of things are you passionate about?
As I get, like, as every year goes by, that's it. Like more and more. I mean, that's I've kind of just been weeding everything out gradually over the past few years. But I don't know, what am I into? Yeah, you know, I can do my share of sports, but I wouldn't say I'm passionate about that.
You don't look like you're too passionate about it.
No, I mean, admittedly, I'm a playoffs fan, you
Right.
know, fair weather fan, whatever. But, God, I don't know. Really, I mean, I go to work for 8 hours a day. I come home and I deal with music for the rest of my time. If I'm, you know, I get up on Saturdays and Sundays, have no job to go to, it's all music all the time. It's just, that's it.
Mm.
I've never really thought about it, and I'm kind of happy about it. So thanks.
That's cool. How would you say the Ann Arbor Ypsi environment has kind of played into your sound and your lyrics?
I would have to say, honestly, it hasn't played in at all. I mean, certain things have played into it, like the community here, definitely. I mean, but it doesn't play into the sound. It's more of a support thing, and the support is wonderful. You know, I mean, my best friends are, you know, Misty Lynn, Chris Bathgate, Colette. Like, my boss is my drummer. You know, like, it's just artists everywhere, which is really nice. But I'd have to say there's a difference between Ann Arbor and Ypsi, and definitely in Ann Arbor I felt like hiding in my house more often. In Ypsi now, I go out and I see people just like Ann Arbor, but I enjoy it, actually. Mm-hmm. For some reason in Ann Arbor, my anxiety was way higher, and I would run to the other side of the street immediately when I saw somebody that I knew. but in Ypsi, I don't know. There's just something a little more special. I've never been able to put my finger on it, but in terms of playing, Ypsi and Detroit, definitely. I couldn't do without.
Yeah.
No way. I'm making more and more friends with people from Detroit, which has been great. And I've been trying to sort of bridge that gap, because there is definitely a gap between here and there.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, sound-wise, I don't think so. Sorry.